Hey you guys, and welcome to my channel. This is for my female survivors. Not to say that my male listeners can't take anything out of this, because you can. You can listen to this, and because some of it actually can apply to you guys as well. But I'm thinking I'll make a separate video for the guys. And some of these things might still be on the list for you guys, of course, but then it'll get to a certain point on the list where we're going into the masculine energy versus the feminine energy. All right. Everyone has masculine and feminine energy within them. The whole goal, though, is, of course, for our women out there who are heterosexual or, are the femme in a lesbian relationship even, you want to stay in touch with your feminine energy. All right. And that's a little bit down on the list, so I don't even want to digress too far in there. But let me just start out by saying this. Rewind. This channel has been up for now, over a year and a half. And some of you have been my day ones following me through this thing. And you may realize that, I've gotten to a certain point of the healing process, Lakia. I feel pretty well scripted about the narcissist. And you know what? Now I want to get back out there. I'm ready to start dating again. Or maybe you're just stumbling into this channel and this is your first video. Welcome. So, basically this video was requested by a lot of survivors and it's been on my to-do list, guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and at least begin to open this conversation today of dating after narcissistic abuse. All right. Now, like I said, this is more geared towards the female listeners. You'll see as we go down the list that it becomes purely for that feminine energy. All right. But like I said, it's not like you guys can't take anything from this video. All right. So let's talk about it, guys. You feel like you've, done enough work and you miss socializing, or, at least your heart chakra feels ready to at least see what's out there and see what options you have and, take it from there kind of thing. All right. So I'm going to talk about different areas right now that I definitely want you guys to be mindful about as far as dating after narcissistic abuse. So number one, of course, I highly recommend that, of course, you've done the work. All right. You've done the work. And you're not in this raw stage. You're not, still emotionally attached to the narcissist. And, you found your healing. You've changed your mentality. You've worked on honoring your essence. All right. So we're going to just level up at that point. You've leveled up at that point. You can work on your appearance and your presentation. Those are the external things that people say, see about you. But of course, we're going to definitely need to make sure your internal is right as well. You need to have your mind right. That's how you're going to end up getting that person you want and deserve. Okay. You need to have the proper amount of confidence. You need to have recouped the confidence that you lost or that person was able to suck out of you previously. You need to know what your standards are at this point. You need to be able to set boundaries with people, say no or say yes, or, whatever it is that's going to guard yourself. And what I've said in many other videos, you need to have that protective shield, guys. And the protective shield says, I determine my self-worth. I give myself my self-confidence. I fill up my love cup. I'm responsible for my peace. So it doesn't matter who walks in and out of my life. I'm going to be good. It doesn't matter what someone else thinks or whatever. They don't have the authority or the power to move the beautiful person that I see when I look at in the mirror. Okay. So yes, we need to make sure that we do the work, because what happens if we don't is we end up repeating cycles. Or if you don't do enough of the work, you still end up repeating cycles because your energy is still vibrating on a certain level, guys, and your confidence is not high enough. That makes you less likely to stand up for your standards and your boundaries. And highly susceptible to what? Attract yet another narcissist or a toxic guy. And, now we're adding more notches to our belts and we're not getting what we want. We're self-sabotaging because we're being too hasty. Okay. And that's a part of the next thing that I have here on the list. When you do decide to get back out there and start socializing and interacting with people again, it doesn't need to be out of neediness. Okay. It doesn't need to be out of some anxiety. Oh my God, I took a year to myself to get myself together. Now I'm burning to have sex again. And then, this makes you hasty. This makes you jump into the first thing that makes you feel a little itch again, or a little tingle, or that stirs you up a little bit. And this happens so many times where survivors tell me, oh my gosh, I was celibate for a year. I was celibate for 5 years. I've even heard situations. I've stayed to myself for 6, 7, 8 years. And then that first person that they get with after all that time off is another narcissist, and it ends horribly for them. All right. So, when you let all that tension build up in yourself, that equals what? A need and an anxiety. So it doesn't mean that you need to be sleeping with people all day, every day or anything, but release that tension psychologically, even more than the physical. You don't need to be psychologically in desperation, because people can sniff that out, and predators like narcissists and toxic people, they can definitely sniff out who's the thirsty girl, who's just screaming to be smashed. I see women put up these thirst trap pictures showing their goodies, bending over backwards, putting their cleavage all up on social media for the world to see. When guys look at that, they're seeing someone that's probably out of a need and desperate for something. And even if you're not, that's what you're presenting. Okay. So before we go too far, guys, I want to just backtrack a little bit here and talk about the leveling up part. All right. Because by now you should have a clear indication of where you were going wrong in your previous relationships and what you need to do moving forward so that you're not making the same mistakes, guys. Were you rushing? Were you letting a guy come into your life and forcing you to go 0 to 100 on his fucking time? Okay, well, that has to stop. Or did you say, oh, he was so fine, Lakia, and like it was just a privilege, for you to be with him, and you just let him just take all the control? And no, that's not how it works. And that's not how you should be using your feminine energy. Like, that's not your husband. Like, why are you submitting to a guy that's supposed to be proving his worth to you at this point, right? And you're supposed to be proving your worth to him at the same time. So how exclusive are you? If he could just come into your life, within a couple of weeks, sometimes faster, and get you to jump when he says how high, be at his beck and call. Like, you just made him feel like he's the man. But in return, he's looking at you like, And especially if you're saying, oh, he's really attractive. So he's used to women falling down to his knees. He's used to getting it fast and easy. You need to be the one to stand out. I don't care how much of the hots you have for him. It's going to pay off longer in the long term if you have that long-term plan. And that's further down on my list that I was going to talk to you guys about, actually having a goal when you go out and you start socializing again. Like, if you said the goal can be general, you start out general. Okay, well, my goal is to get married, So ultimately you want husband material. So that's automatically going to disqualify these playboys out here. Guys that aren't ready to provide and protect. Is automatically going to disqualify them. And you can find out this basic information pretty early on to not even waste your time with them. All right. And just like you're looking for husband material, then that means you need to be wife material. You need to present yourself that way. You need to be dressed classic. You need to be dressed classy. You know, that doesn't mean that you have to be plain and boring. You know, your nails, you can have your French manicure. You know, that's what sophisticated, that's what high caliber guys, that's what they like. They like the French tips, okay? They like, you know, if you have beautiful natural hair, you could go with that. But if it's not, you know, that look, then, you know, there's all types of beautiful laces and wigs. You know, just work with yourself. Work with what you got. Men are physical creatures. All right. And we know that's what's going to catch their attention right off the rip. If you know that you need to like hit the gym a little bit and maybe tone it up, then start making yourself a priority and do that and have that self-love for yourself, guys. You know, but let me just intercept to say this. There's someone out there for everyone, but you know, I can generally say that most people don't want nothing sloppy. Okay. There's a difference between thick or BBW and then they're sloppy. Okay. Cause there's plenty of thick BBW women plus size that carry themselves very nicely and smell wonderful and all of that stuff. Okay. So it's really about how you carry yourself. You know, if you're a BBW or a curvier woman or a thicker size, wear the undergarments, give yourself some shapewear. You know, that's going to polish your look. Do what you can. Wear the proper size bra. Boost them bad boys up. Okay. Just do things properly. Wear clothes that are the proper size. Don't be trying to wear stuff for the skinny girls that is not flattering you. Find out what flatters your body shape and do that. All right. That's called leveling up. That's called being in tune with yourself first and foremost, guys. You should know how to do that already before you meet your husband or someone that you want to take you seriously. All right, so let's level up all the way around and leave that old mentality in the damn past, okay? Like that person was a stepping stone. We have to have the right outlook. That narcissistic relationship was a stepping stone for you to see the cracks in the foundation within you. You've taken your lessons, and that's all you were supposed to take. You're not supposed to be carrying with you the hurt and the pain and all that other stuff. Make your peace with it. Take your lessons. Now, that person is in the damn past, and leave it there. Leave it there. Now that you have those lessons, more wisdoms, you're more refined now. Look, you should be in a better position now. Okay? And, you know, this is another sidebar to women out there who may be a little bit older. Don't let that add to you being needy or anything. And then especially you've taken care of yourself. What? That's a commodity. An older woman that has taken care of herself, that's looking just as good as these young girls out here. You should have your head held high, not low, just because you're a certain age. That is a commodity, especially for a seasoned man that's looking for a seasoned woman. He's going to appreciate that you took care of yourself. All right. So we need to relax. We need to relax. These men are not our makers, okay? You need to know that you're the prize and you need to carry yourself that way. Because if you don't, everything they think, everything they want is going to be put on a pedestal. And right then and there, you've given all your power over to the man. And you've trained him to believe that you're less than. Okay? You need to have a take it or leave it mentality. Like, I could take it or leave it. I don't care who you are. And that's how you need to be. That's pure confidence. That's someone that's not afraid to stand on their own. Like, I don't need you. I really don't. And that's what you need to have, a take it or leave it. You might meet some guy and maybe he, for some crazy reason, he try to lowball you on the first date offer. Maybe he might say, oh, well, let's go to Chili's, or let's go to TGI Friday, you know. I like to just keep it casual for the first meet. Let's say you met him on a dating website and he wants to lowball you like that. You're like, oh, I don't go to places like that. So either, well, this is your two options. Either you're just going to be turned off that he even tried to even suggest that remedial place, or you can counter it and challenge him. You could just say, I don't go to places like that. And then if he responds with, well, where would you like to go? Bam. That's where you go to the 5-star restaurant. But too many times survivors just happy to even have attention. Oh, yeah, I'll go to TGI Friday. He don't need to know that you've been there 50 times already, or that you take your 3 kids there all the time. And no, say less, ladies. Say less. You're setting the bar up high. You know, you have to understand how to set a bar with a man from day one. And it's going to weed out the cheap ones. It's going to weed out the broke ones. And it's going to weed out the lazy ones that just want an easy lay or something. It's going to weed them out, ladies. But there's nothing wrong with commanding A1 treatment from day one. From day one. All right, so it's going to be a take it or leave it. Like, I don't go there. Oh, well, where would you like to go? Bam, get the 5-star restaurant. Or if he counter it with some dumb shit, still trying to, you know, be controlling and have his way, be like, look, I don't have time for this. I don't even want to go out on this date anymore. Click, or, you know, stop messaging me. I don't have time for cheapskates. Bam. You know, be willing. Show the universe, I'm willing to let the wrong ones go. Because the guy with class, the guy, you know, he ain't going to even shoot right there. Because if he's looking for a wife too, he going to want to start out treating her nice too. He going to want to take her to the best places. So, you know, take it or leave it with that. Be willing to let people go as soon as you're not getting what you deserve. Be willing to let them go. Okay. So, you know, on that note, ladies, let's talk about having control versus being controlling. Let's talk about that. Because you can have complete, or, you know, a good amount of control of the situation, at least what's happening to you, right? Without being a controlling woman. You know, the object is not to be controlling, but the object is to be in control. And that just says, you know what? It's on my time and it's on my pace. I don't care if he's used to sleeping with girls 2 days in. You know, I do it when I want to do it. And as a matter of fact, if you're smart and you know he's used to that, let's say you get the attention of a real high roller, you know, an NBA player, like people that's out here really making that money, you know, stand out, be the one that don't put out quick, fast, and easy, you know, be the one that's not falling in line just because of who they are celebrity wise and whatnot. All right. Or, you know, let me say this as well. Let me just intercept this right now. A lot of survivor women were used to dealing with lowriders. Okay. A lot of them were lowriders. And then some of you were used to dealing with guys with money and they were just assholes, super duper assholes that, you know, did not reciprocate you and you had no control. All right. So you're probably falling into one of two classes, but most of you fall in the latter. I mean, not the latter, but the first class of the ones that were just beneath you. Okay. You were trying to dust them off. You were taking the masculine energy, protecting and providing, being the man in the relationship. All right. Now, when you go out here and get this other man, I don't want him to get it even more easier because you're noticing the difference. You know, sometimes when you weren't used to being taken to that 5-star restaurant and stuff like that by a man, it's going to be easier for him to sweep you off his feet. And I don't want that. Let's intercept that right now. As a matter of fact, homework assignment. If you're not used to going to upper class places, this is where you need to be going. Take yourself now. As a matter of fact, is actually smart because it's going to give you time to, or it's going to give you opportunities to bump into a potential guy, because you're already in the atmosphere. All right. Once I turned 17 and went off to college into a major city, I bumped into all kinds of dudes. But what I had to realize was it was some dudes that grew up in the inner city that never left the block. And then there were the guys that been all up and through the museums. They knew about culture. They had been to all the 5-star restaurants. And, there was those two different kind of guys. So I want the culture guy. So what do? You can go and sit at the bar. And it's not the same as going to a hole in the wall bar. Go to the 5-star restaurant during a happy hour, okay? Because usually, people with a life, they're not staying out all late. They want to get a good rest because they're getting up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. They're getting the most out of their 24 hours here. So yeah, going like at a lunchtime, at a happy hour, at the latest, dress like the wife. Eating a salad, having some wine, and not just being all up on your phone, showing signs that you could be approachable here, not going with a gang of other women that usually intimidates guys from coming up to you. Let me just tell you that right now. You get a lot more play when you go by yourself. So if you're one of those women that don't ever like to step out of the house unless you got Kiki and Taisha and all of them with you, and then if they're not classy, they're pulling your stock down. Okay? They're pulling your stock down. They're pulling your stock down. So, let's do that. Let's do that, guys. Have some control without being controlling. See, I don't want to have to force somebody to do something that I feel like should be freely given to me. You shouldn't have to twist a guy's arm, per se, to get what you want out of him. If you do, if you feel like you're in that position, he must not be that into you, is what I'm going to say to that. All right. So let's go back to appearance, ladies. Let's go back to their, get more into wearing heels. And even if you're like, Lakia, I'm not even used to wearing skinny stilettos, or I'm a BBW. Yeah, right. That's not going to work. Well, you know what? There's all kinds of heels, ladies. There's all kind of heels and that you can wear. Even if you have to start out wearing wedges, while you start training yourself with a pair of heels walking throughout your house. And you don't have to start at 5 inches, even at 2.5, 3 inches. Okay. And they don't have to be skinny. You can get, you can get a thicker heel, especially in the summertime. There's all types of sandals. It's summertime right now, but there's all types of sandals that come with the thicker heels that don't look like you're stuck in the 70s. It's all types of those. But tap into your feminine energy, okay? And know the art of seduction, ladies. This means, using your words, using your energy, using your scent, using your body language, using your appearance. Okay? Because you can be sensual. You can be seductive without dressing like, like you have on lingerie, or like your little Kim, or, that girl that's just thirsty and advertising everything. Leave stuff to the imagination, and I've made a video on need to know, and that means say less. Stop running your mouth. Stop running your mouth, ladies. Stop running your mouths. You tell men too much, too soon. You give them the complete blue, what's the word? It's late at night right now. I'm going to tell you that right now. Blueprint. There we go. On you. So even if they are manipulators, they're like, oh, that's all I got to do. Okay. Well, I'll morph into that guy. See what that get me. And speaking of which, make them earn it. Make them earn it. Okay. Make them earn it. Make them prove their worthiness. You know, before you were coming out of an energy where you were constantly trying to prove your worthiness to someone else. Now, you know what? Switch them damn roles. It's time for them to prove to you. Okay. Because guess what? My heart is locked up until I feel like I should even unlock it a little bit, you know, and be able to maintain that objectivity. And not prematurely attached. Because like I said, now you're going to be dating a different caliber of guy. Don't be getting swept away. Ever, really. Ever. I'm sorry. Watch my Trust Part 1 and 2 videos if you want to see where my mind is with that. But there's no perfect human beings on this earth. I don't care if I was married to a man for 30 years. I wouldn't put things past him, basically. I wouldn't be devastated if he cheated on me. You know, I'm not going to just hop into my emotions and make emotional decisions and all this stuff. And I'm in no way telling people that they have to stay with cheaters. All I'm saying is there's nothing that he's going to do that's going to blindside me, devastate me, or crush me, or make me run into a corner or lose my mind or feel like my 30 years was in vain. You know why? Because I had a goal. Okay, the goal was to get married. Was my next goal. Look, the whole 30 years that we was together, I had goals. I got mine too. It was on my terms. It was on my pace. I was getting what I wanted. If you want to screw up and end up giving me half, that's your dumb self. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to look at my advantages because I'm not going to put myself in a disadvantage to begin with. And that's the problem. Survivors are too used to putting themselves at the disadvantage. Put yourself first. And if you can't do that, you're not ready to date yet. Put yourself first. And for the ones out there that don't even have kids and the ones that do, by you putting yourself first, you're giving your children the best opportunity at getting a good stepfather or getting a good father to begin with. Because what you can get for yourself, you're getting for them. So the more you settle, the less you're taking out of your future kids' mouths and the less your current kids are going to be able to get. Now, what are you worth? I'm priceless, so I'm not too good for anything. You know, nothing is too good for me. So that is the mentality that we have to have, ladies. That is the mentality that we have to have. It's more serious. It is more serious. Now, while we're taking our lessons with us, we know that the narcissist love bomb 0 to 100. So just observe it. Just observe him. Saying you're cool and observe him. If he start blowing you up out of nowhere, like trying to rush the relationship, you still could take control. You don't have to answer every message that comes right away. You don't have to answer every phone. You're just dating. Teach him that your time is valuable. Teach him that you're not always going to be available to him. You do have a life outside of him. Oh, I already had plans, but can we go out on this day? I can get you. Are you available on that day? You know, it's okay to do that. And you might be like, Lakia, I ain't got no goddamn plans. Well, play the game. Play the game. Play the game. Because men like a chase. Men like a chase. And he don't want to feel like it's easy to get. Because even if he's the one guy that you had a one-night stand with, the one guy that you made it easy for, in his mind, all the other guys had it that easy too. And that's just how men think. I'm telling you that right now. All right. So I think this is a good for part 1 as far as, you know, just even beginning to get back out there. But I talked about, you know, making sure that you did the work and you healed and you leveled up. You leveled up your mentality so that your essence can radiate that. You're leveling up your appearance, putting your best foot forward, having that right presentation, that wife presentation, dress for the part that you want, right? You're going to have that confidence, of course, going along with that. And internally, you have your standards and your boundaries. I talked about not operating out of a place of desperation and need and some type of anxiety or coming from a place of lack. Relax. Feel abundance in your life. Trust divine timing. and have a take it or leave it mentality. No, this isn't what I do, but I do take that. You can negotiate. You can negotiate. Because closed mouths don't get fed, ladies. You don't have to just take whatever's offered to you. Okay? Then we talked about control versus being controlling. It's not your responsibility to be controlling with the guy, but you just take control because it's still your time. It's your time, your effort, your energy. And it's going to be at your pace. You know? And just think of, let me just intercept this real quick. I think about the effort that a quality woman, a classy woman puts into getting ready for a date. That's automatically why you ain't taking no TGI Friday date. All right. By the time you put on your Lancome makeup, your Victoria's Secret undergarments, you done went out and bought a new outfit. Maybe you got your hair and nails. You done spent hundreds of dollars. Okay. Like, I'm not doing all that and stepping out of the house for you to take me to some rinky dink TGI Fridays type stuff. Okay. Like, so, you know, require, because you know what you're bringing to the table. Require them to match that, or else off with your head. Like, who got time for that? Because guess what? People that don't want to level up in life, they're just going to suck you the fuck down. Nobody got time for that. And then you single moms out there, you really don't got time for that. You don't have time for that. So be no nonsense about that. And you can be real sexy and seductive while you're doing it too. It doesn't mean that you have to be ghetto, loud, raunchy, but you can be assertive. You can just say, you know, what you deal with. You know, I'm not used to that. I don't accept dates to there. I don't go to that part of the town. Or, you know, whatever it is. And you might say, well, Lakia, I did used to accept dates there. Well, you know what? That shit don't count. Because today is a new day. This is a new chapter. And this is what it's going to be. That guy should know that you're just used to getting the best treatment. That's it. That's it. And have the right body language. Know how to talk to people. Know how to interact with a man. You know how to use a little bit of touch without being intrusive. So, you know, just learn the art of seduction, ladies. Words, energy, scent, body language, appearance. Okay. All right. So this is going to be my part 1 video, and we're going to have more discussions on this. But I hope that this is helping somebody out there get to the next level, because after narcissistic abuse, after a toxic relationship, or maybe, you know, too many of them not getting treated the way that you deserve to have the real deal. But you got to be the real deal first. And then you got to be able to recognize what the real deal is from the fake deal. Okay. Nobody got time for that. All right. Check your empathy. Check your empathy for external things, and make sure you have it for yourself. All right. Put yourself first, ladies. You are the prize. Command it. You ain't got to demand it. If you got to demand it, he ain't the one for you. I don't want to be with a guy that I got to demand stuff that should be free flowing. You should already know to open my doors. You should already know when you see my profile picture on a dating website, how to come at me. If you try to treat me like some hood rat, some this girl, you know, you already just disqualify yourself. Okay. So you gotta, you know, take it or leave it. You gotta have the right mentality, ladies. So definitely feel free to leave comments under this video if you're interested in having more segments to this powwow. You know, it's just like we're coming together and having like a little tea talk here. Consider me like your big sister or a good friend. You know, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys, because I know I've been there and I've done that. All right. So some of you are gonna need to re-listen to this video, because some of the things that I've said, maybe you have not been incorporating, or, you know, things that you need to get better at. You know, See, let me just give you an example about commanding versus demanding. Let's say you're out and you're going into a restaurant on your first date. If you make it to the door before the guy, you're going to stand there and wait for him to open it. You didn't demand it, but you just commanded it right then and there. Now, bam, he knows that he got to open doors for you. And if he's and if he's one of the ones that just really didn't realize that, he's dealt with so many women that haven't done it, then for that whole first date, you just make him do it. And then, maybe you'll never speak to him again. I don't know. See what else he got going on that could make up for that. If he's trainable, teachable in that area, or, if you've seen him starting to remember it by the second half of the date or whatever, you'll have to use your discernment and your emotional maturity to weigh his pros and cons and, if he deserves to have that second date. Okay. But that's one example right there on how you can command something versus demand. See, the demand woman would have just been like, are you serious? You're going to open my door and da-da-da-da. You ain't got to say all of that. Say less. Just stand there. He's going to, if he has the brain still in his head, okay, unless he's the scarecrow off of the Wiz, he's going to be like, oh, I'm sorry. And he's going to open it and just say thank you and give him a smile. Give him that, that's the reward right there. Thank you and the smile. Dainty, feminine. You don't have to say all of that. All right, ladies. So we're going to talk more about this, getting back out here and dating, and all the things that, and those pitfalls that we're falling into before that we just definitely don't need to be doing that now. So I'm assuming if you're listening to this video, you've done the work, or at least maybe you're in the middle of doing the work and you're just trying to get ahead of the game. You can listen to this video and start working on this stuff now. Okay. So that you can, get yourself where you need to be. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and stop there because we're over 30 minutes now. And I'll be making a part 2, guys. Let me know what you think. And what do I say at the end of all my videos, of course? Never give up on yourself, of course. Keep doing the work. And until next time, please take care.